Alrighty, so that's more like it. It looks like we've gained around 15 to 20 FPS, full ultra, native 3440 by 1440 resolution. So I've just set it to ultra
Power
preset.
items inbound.
That's easy for anyone else to copy. And I've also turned off blur, screen shake, exposure, and maxed out sharpening because I think the game looks better with it.
The field.
But you can see here, we've still got async compute. We're going to try optimizing settings a little bit. So I'm just going to do a basic, what do you call it? Basic competitive settings tweak. So that's just turning everything down that is not to do with texture quality, because I do have enough VRAM, or view distance pop-in type of thing. So texture quality and view distance is all we really want. So geometry is to do with pop-in. We want that turned up. We can turn reflections off, depth of field, shadow quality, lighting, cloud quality because we're not looking at the sky, dynamic wind, ground cover. It is kind of like an object quality setting, so turning that down can help with the CPU so that it's not wasting cycles on that. That can help. And then effects, you kind of do want some effects, so I'm going to say medium would be a good console level point, but it needs a restart, so we'll just leave it on ultra for this test. Decal quality low, that's just bullet marks, and when I'm actually playing, you never turn around to look where the bullets hit because the enemies, like, you can already tell from the direction the bullets came from just by seeing them firing at you. Terrain quality is another one for pop-in. Simulation quality is for audio and vehicle suspension. Kind of weird that it even allows you to turn it right down. It doesn't affect the engine somehow, but we'll turn that down. It does consume CPU. We'll turn that down to medium. We'll see if it needs a restart. No, it doesn't. And flocking quality is to do with wild animals. If you look at the animals a lot, I guess that was a bot. This is bot mode because I just want to test. So as you can see, turning those few settings down and just leaving the textures, the geometry, and the volumetric fog. Let's turn that off too. The textures, the geometry, the terrain, and the effects are the only ones we left turned up. And simulation quality, we do want some decent audio. I don't know how much it matters. It says vehicle audio. We'll leave it on low. There's no vehicles here. And then if we get any issues with audio, we'll just turn it back up. So that is, without having to turn the resolution scale down, we've gone from 75 to 80 up to 90 to 100. Let's just see here. Yeah, 90 to 100. That is so much better than before. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. I'm not hitting him at all, but yeah, look at that. That's nice. We'll get the counter going, see if there's any FPS drop. There is FPS drop. Usually that is to do with large... For me, this is my own interpretation, but I notice more FPS drop and spikes when there are large textures streaming going on with GDDR6. Because as you know, that the 6700 XT is just a GDDR6 card. It is not... It does not have the bandwidth of 6x that the 3080 and such cards have. So when it comes to, like, even though there's plenty of VRAM, when it comes to streaming in those textures at a good speed, there tends to be more stutter when that kind of thing's happening. And we're at 36 ms, so it shouldn't be to do with the latency at all, the game latency. Wait, I'm trying not to die here. But yeah, we're still getting dropped to about 40. We'll have to see what happens. My teammate saved me. Hey. I've also remapped a few keys if you guys are interested. I remapped use item from Q to F. So it's F now, and then instead of F being melee, I put it to V because I'm used to it from other games to be V. And I find that works. And weapon swap is now Q instead of use item.
Power items available.
Yeah, I just find that easier. The quick swap is Q. And yeah. So let's see here. We're getting around 93 FPS. But again, it is at ultra-wide 3440 by 1440, and we do have textures turned up to ultra, which does cause a fairly significant VRAM usage boost increase. It goes from like 5 gig all the way to 8 gig, and you can see here it's on 8.8. I want to set my I want to see if I can set my crouch here to C. I keep tapping C, And it's just from other games. What is C from? Remove it from throw grenades. Throw grenades G. Yeah, who cares? Okay, cool. Just in case, like I do hit, I can hit control with my pinky, but when I accidentally, you know, hit C, I'm not accidentally trying to throw a grenade now.
5 minutes remaining.
So one thing I want to test, I can't really do it without restarting the game.
Spectacular victory.
Just turn this main audio down. So one other thing I want to do is I want to turn the overall texture quality down rather than turning the resolution scale down in order to lower the VRAM usage, because there is a massive bump from high to ultra textures and it's not necessary. Like the game still looks really crisp in previous testing. So we do have optimization now, but I don't think they've improved the textures or changed anything else. There hasn't been a game patch side. This is a driver side fix that we're doing. So when I go into settings, this is what I mean. Look at the VRAM usage, 7.17. Instead of going to resolution scale, which degrades the image quality significantly, you can see that how it directly affects the VRAM. And this is what I mean. Like when there's more VRAM data coming in and out, for me, that is what I think causes the FPS drop. Because when you get the VRAM usage around here, 70-ish, 6.72 or so, I notice far less FPS dips in the 0.1 and 1% lows. But rather than doing it, now that we've got some game optimization with the driver, rather than lowering this, the smart thing to do, instead of, you know, running full ultra, is to simply do this. Now I'll show you, look at this massive difference. When I go from texture quality ultra to high, it drops by like a whole, over a gig. So 7.17 down to 5.74. And then from this point, it's like, ultra is just like the super eye candy if you're running an RTX 3090 or 3080 or something and you just want everything ultra, kind of like an EPEAN setting. But when it comes to actual visuals, the quality is still really good at high. And then the difference from the medium and low is much smaller. Like it's just like 500 MB or so. And then going down to low, another big jump. But medium and high, usually, you know, the middle ground for the majority of setups that I'd recommend. Run medium if you don't have a 12 gig VRAM card. If you're like 8 gig VRAM, even though you're not using your full capacity, it does reduce the streaming requirement of bandwidth from the card. So especially for me, I'm running ReLive right now recording. I don't want heavy bandwidth usage when it comes to texture streaming going alongside my ReLive, whatever it's doing, the GPU encoding. So high is a good compromise. And it's kind of weird. I did check geometry and terrain before, and there is not such a massive jump. It's only a 500 MB. So I don't think lowering geometry quality is worthwhile to lower VRAM usage. I would sooner just lower the resolution scale a little bit further. And again, with stuff like effects, you do want some effects because it does enrich the gameplay. You can see things happening, you know, a bit more clearly compared to low, which will remove or pixelate effects, which you don't want. I reckon high or medium is probably the better balance for performance in a competitive setting. For my setup, I'll probably run high, but it does need a restart. And then lastly, we've got this terrain, which again, it's view distance and pop-in. I ran medium in one of my tests, and I could not tell the difference on the smaller maps, but maybe on the bigger maps you could. But in terms of VRAM usage, look at that. It's like nothing. It's to do with geometry, in my opinion, the geometry of the terrain, even though there is a geometry setting. Geometry quality. I think this geometry quality setting is to do with the geometry texture detail, while terrain quality is to do with the actual geometry and view distance of the accuracy of the geometry. So you can see that's why it's not textures. It doesn't have a massive impact on VRAM usage. So I think we can leave terrain quality at Ultra 2. And yeah, we'll give that a test. I'll just reboot it really quick and I'll load the game back in. Alrighty guys, so I've got the volume down. We are loaded back in. Now the main thing we were looking for is FPS drop in the 1% and the 0.1s. It looks like we do still have 0.1% drop, but I'm not seeing spikes in the frame time graph that we were getting before. Like there was literally noticeable spikes. It seems to be a little bit smoother, but something optimization-wise is probably still missing. So the only other place we can really go from here is to try to free up the VRAM usage a little bit more, is we can lower the one that I said didn't matter that much, is geometry quality, which is, I'm pretty sure this is geometry texture detail, like the mesh detail, to do texture and mesh detail, but we can try lowering that down to high. As you can see, it does produce a I guess it's noticeable depending on what your VRAM your card is. Medium and high have like no difference, but ultra is the one that causes a jump. So down to high, gets it a little bit lower. Nothing else to really tweak here. We've got effects on high as well, but you know, that shouldn't really matter when we're not... Oh, there we go. What got me? And I'll just turn a little bit of audio on so it's not too boring for you. So let's see here. See what that frame time looks like. 50 now. Let's see if it drops under 50 easily. That actually seems improved a tiny bit for a few seconds of testing. We'll see if it drops. Like, I don't see it fighting over there. Yeah, it's still dropping. The 0.1 and 1%. It's not improving too much. The game feels smoother. Like, I'm not getting input stutter, which is what you care about the most. Is when you're moving the mouse, you don't want your mouse stuttering. But that kind of stutter is the most horrible stutter. But it could still be better. Just seeing, I'm looking at the GPU usage too, like just seeing where we're needing improvement or where the FPS drop might be coming from. It's probably still optimization at this point, but knowing that the game is actually made more for a lower aspect ratio, it's made for 16:9, 1440p and 1080p, it could still be a resolution issue. So even though I'm running low VRAM, I'm not using that much VRAM at ultra-wide 3440x1440, simply lowering it to something closer to 1440p may be enough to smooth out that FPS and give a boost, because the resolution scale did still make a significant impact before the optimization patch came in, before the optimization driver. So usually resolution scale actually is pretty good to use anyway when you need more performance. Around 80 to 90%, you don't even see it. Like, you don't even see the difference on screen as long as you've got sharpening turned up. And you can see there we went easily up to much closer to 100 from 90. See, I'll skip around and I'll just reset the benchmark. Okay, it's still dropping to 50. See if it drops to 35 again. So this is at 90% render scale. Gee, what hit me? Yeah, still dropped to 37. And then we'll go a little bit further. We'll see how low we can take it. Like before, I was running all the way down at 53 just to get into this kind of FPS range. And we're going to try just taking it down to 80. So at 80, oh, so there was a massive jump from 80. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on my theory, but it does seem like the game likes lower resolutions. Something to do with the high resolution is jacking up the not jacking, but tanking the performance when you run closer to ultra-wide. So the actual resolution scale now, the actual resolution scale is 2752 by 1152. So kind of closer to 1440p, but not as low as 1440p. But we'll see if it goes up even further now that the game's more optimized. So we'll go all the way down. We'll see how high we can get it, and see if those 1% lows jump up at a certain point where it would definitely be worthwhile, and that is looking much better. Especially the 1%. The 1% has been steadily going up with every increment. So if you're trying to like get into that 144 Hz smooth range, 144 FPS gameplay, then this would be the way to go, the resolution scale, especially on ultra-wide. If I was running a normal resolution, I think it would have been fine at 1440 or 1080. We would have had some great performance already, but ultra-wide is harder to push. But yeah, look at that, like 90 on the, and then we'll just quickly go back up. We'll go back up. So we were on 70, we'll go back up to 100, and we'll look at that 1% low, 93, and we'll see what it drops to after I run around a bit. Yeah, it's dropping 70, bit of combat, 60, yeah. So I don't think the 0.1 can be improved too much. It must just be part of the game optimization overall, because 0.1 catches like the lowest of the lows, which isn't a big deal as long as you're not getting constant FPS drops or stutters, and I'm not feeling that at all. But that being said, if you want minimal input latency, then obviously running at the resolution that matches the game's engine better until they optimize it further, I think we saw some really good gains at 70% that are worthwhile. And depending on your monitor refresh rate, you might not need to go that low. Even 80-90% is good for the 60 FPS plus range. But if you want to run like, 144 FPS, then yeah, this is the way to go. The resolution scale, and then I have to do more testing. It's kind of hard with benchmarking, but when you see that there's a performance boost, particularly from one setting, it makes you wonder, can I turn all these other settings back up now? Because the performance is good. Like, are those settings going to actually hurt the performance much, or can I get the eye candy back in one form or another? So I've got to load up another match, and what we'll try doing in the next one, we'll keep it on 70%. That seems to be a sweet spot, at least for this setup, ultra-wide, scaled down. And then we'll try turning some of the other settings back up, just to get a bit of image quality, because I don't need to restart it. Get out of here. And I'll just paste this, I'll clip this video together. Alrighty, so as you can see, the map also seems to make a difference. Like, we lost 10 FPS coming from the smaller map going to this bigger one, and we have got some significant texture, what should I say, material or texture quality loss going down in resolution scale to 70%. I do want to see where's the sweet spot. Like, I just noticed the foliage just isn't as good. But that could just be the way it's designed as well. Like, maybe I'm just paying more attention to it with the settings. Yeah, see, it looks fine up close. So it's just the way it looks, really. Probably because the lighting's also turned down. And I just wasn't used to looking at palm trees on the other map. There's no palm trees. So we'll go back down to 70. And this is what I wanted to investigate. Now that we've found the performance sweet spot around 70% render scale for this card at ultra-wide 3440 by 1440. So we've turned the render scale down, and we're running at 2408 by 1008. Then we want to see if we can turn a few other things back up, and if we're going to drop, like, for example, we'll get an average FPS here. I'll just get a quick average. I'll run around the map. I'll do one lap around the map so that we know what we're working with. Pretty cool. Okay, so we're getting around 116
Active camo inbound
ish. This is a weird bike. Like hovering, but not.
active camo available.
Yeah, so you can see there 113, 79 on the 1%. It is a bigger map. We don't have volumetric clouds on, so they're not bothering us. There's no flocking going on. No. Ouch. Okay, so let's just say 115. And what we're going to do now is, this is what I like to do, just because I actually am not running a 144 Hz monitor. I'm only running 100 Hz, so it doesn't. I don't need any. I can lose 15 FPS, but basically, we want to see the impact of turning settings back up, because driver patch, the settings barely did anything. Some of them you could have turned up and you don't get a significant performance drop, and we still have a little bit of GPU headroom available. So we'll turn occlusion to medium and just see if anything happens. We can even notice the difference in quality. We'll try looking at some buildings.
Lost the lead.
Maybe you guys can notice it better than me around the rocks. That kind of thing. We're still getting good FPS. And we'll try going all the way up. We'll take it in steps. We'll go medium to high. Still 133. Probably not standing in the best spot though. I should stand somewhere I can see more stuff. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be hurting the FPS at all. It's almost like it's gone up, but
I do believe this is ours.
Maybe I have to just drive around a bit. I swear the FPS was around 110, 115. It's gone up to 120. So this could even be a weird optimization. Sometimes turning settings up on unoptimized games can improve performance because the GPU usage goes up. Or something the game engine's doing improves. Yeah. Oh no, now that I'm driving around a bit, it has stabilized back down around 115. So almost no performance hit from ambient occlusion. I can't even see what it's doing clearly. Like some of the texture surfaces still look pretty flat. But then there could be some occlusion going on around these shadowy bits, but again, we do have shadows turned down too, so they might have to work in conjunction to really be seen together. Okay. So we can kind of make that out to be some sort of symbol. And then we're going to turn reflections off. It's still there. The frig? What the heck? Maybe the setting's broken, it's just not doing anything on PC, and that's why there's so many optimization issues. Everything's max all the time. I mean, look at that. Reflections is not affecting reflections. Little reflection there of the reactor, whatever that is. Okay, so we'll see if this disappears when I turn reflections off.
Ball dropped.
An ally
Oh,
has
did we lose some
slain the
color?
carrier.
It looks like we did lose some
have the
puddle.
ball.
Like we lost some actual puddle reflection over here. So this puddle is no longer reflecting blue for the turbine over there. And it's like puddles actually disappeared, which is what seemed to be... That's why I couldn't notice it over here. There's a fixed puddle, and then there's a added puddle from having reflections turned on. So I'm just going to go through the settings now again, because I know I've tested reflections, but we need further testing. At a certain setting, or... Yeah, wait, see here. There was definitely puddles here at a higher setting. So low didn't seem to do much. Usually medium is the one that has the noticeable impact. So maybe low added a puddle somewhere else. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. When I don't zoom... Oh, that's a bit bad. That's broken. That should be fixed. Zooming in should make the reflections disappear.
Nearing victory.
Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. There's another one. Go away.
Double kill.
So yeah, see that there? Okay, it's not getting disappeared with this gun. The reflection of the reactor in the water disappears completely on low and off.
Round one.
So that is very interesting. And at least now we know what it's doing. It is removing
Enemy team facing
certain reflective surfaces. It's not actually lowering the... maybe it's affecting the
This
quality
is almost
of those
over.
specific
Let 'em
surfaces on
have
top.
it.
But here at this spot, it was removing them almost entirely. So reflections
Enemy has
off,
the ball.
and then reflections
Ball
on
dropped.
medium brings it back. This area here, the reflection of the reactor.
We have the ball.
Yeah, see all the blue there? It was like, you can't see it at all on low. So that's what it's doing. If you want that effect, it might be worthwhile to turn up, but at the same time, there's also puddles that don't get removed. So it's not like an all-encompassing setting. It's not a complete off setting. And performance-wise, I'm not really seeing a significant difference. I think running medium is good if you just want that extra eye candy, just to have it. You know? Like maybe there's extra puddles that you could be seeing that
Enemy has
won't
the ball.
really impact the gameplay negatively, but look nice, you know. So, like over here, for example, maybe you wouldn't get this colored of the object here. You wouldn't get that on the floor on low, even though you get it on medium. I don't know if high could be adding more on top. Like there could be even more reflective surfaces. Sorry. So if I go to low though, we just want to see if this thing's really disappearing. Yeah, look at that. It's all gone. So we lost this area here. See, it's not doing it to all surfaces, but some places are losing it entirely. I thought maybe we'd just lose the reflection of that object, but we lost everything. Why are they attacking me? I don't even have it. I don't even have the thing.
Halfway to victory.
Okay, and then we're going to go back up.
Enemy
So
has
now we
the
know
ball.
exactly what it's doing. Like
Allied
it's
carrier
not
down.
even just some puddles. It's some
Inbound.
entire surfaces altogether. And yeah, you can see it come back here. This surface became glossy again.
Overshield available.
This whole area here is like wet now. You see there in the floor. And then we'll see. I have it on high. Is there a certain point where high also cuts out some textures? High to medium. No, it's still glossy. The color's still there. I'm pretty sure low is what makes it disappear. And I don't even know. Maybe low is almost the same as off. Yeah, it disappeared. So it's kind of like turning on reflections for certain surfaces. And adding in puddles. To some extent. And then yeah, there's not even a point going to off. Off is basically low. They're very close. So medium gets you a nice visual boost. That is really nice, just to see that there, and performance is still great. So we're slowly getting some eye candy back. We just have to see what else we can do. But let's try lighting medium. What happens? I can't even tell what it's doing.
Overshield inbound.
I can't even tell, eh? Like, does it need more time?
Overshield available.
Halfway to
Could it
victory.
be literal lighting? Like, am I getting this lighting, starlight effect from it? Or is it some other, like, is it meant to be just natural lighting? It's not affecting that, it's like effective lighting. Oh, that
Ammo
was a bad
reserves
miss.
depleting.
Aim first. Oh, what do you think of this on? Under the railing. But could be placebo. High. No, it looks the same. Just leave it on medium. Okay.
Power
Volumetric
items
fog, we know
inbound.
that that's a performance killer, and effects quality. We've had that on high the whole time, so effects have looked good. And I can't change that without rebooting. Frame quality. I reckon turning terrain down, just because it might have some weird impact on GPU load. I don't even understand what the setting's doing, because I haven't noticed any pop-in at high or even medium. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even seeing what terrain quality is doing. Like, maybe if I turn it right down to low, we'll get some differences, but that's just kind of pointless testing, because why would you run low? And it does affect pop-in, it's supposed to at some level. We could run it on low just to see. Just to see that difference. Maybe it'll do nothing without reloading the map. Yeah, go away. There's one over there. Can't test the metric on this map. Ground cover, we're in a building. Decal is not worth testing. You can't turn this, it's only auto and max for animation. Simulation quality, vehicle sounds and suspension, so yeah, no vehicle map. And flocking quality is animals. So the last thing to check really is async compute. We're in 103 FPS-ish or 108. That was like instant. Wait, go see, we'll look around. Over here. Okay, this is a good view. Okay, so 90, reset the counter, 92-ish, go away. 0.1s. 0.1s are dropping
Active
to
camo available.
52. Okay, we'll see if it's impacting the 0. Now they're dropping to 47. It's all margin of error, really. 18, 90-ish. Okay. And now we're going to do another trick in a minute. I'm going to do something else that I do with a lot of games that I play. Alrighty, so I'm going to leave you guys with some multiplayer gameplay. This is a capture the flag match in the final round. And basically, from all that settings testing, this is what I settled on for my particular setup at 3440 by 1440 at 100 Hz. The resolution scale down to 70%. And these are the settings here. I'll just like pause on them for, 5 seconds or so. And obviously screen effects personal preference. Sharpening's turned up because the resolution scale's at 70. And yeah, the other settings, at least between medium, low, medium, and high on this spec system with the current optimization of the game, did not have a major impact. It was really just this resolution scale down to a sweet spot of about 70%. And then I was averaging a bit over, like if I uncap the FPS, you can see it's hitting up to 120. But in combat, which is where you notice it the most, the 1% and the 0.1s are not that great with the current game optimization or driver optimization or both. So the solution, at least for me, on that is to cap the FPS closer to the 1% lows. So you can see the 1% lows around 94, the 0.174, and just the frame rate consistency is a little bit, you know, lots of little spikes here and there. No, he got me. I am at, oh no, I'm at 36 ms. He's just good at aiming. But yeah, you can see the 0.1 dips a bit, and it's just pointless having 120 FPS when I'm dead or when I'm looking at a wall or something. When in combat, it doesn't actually, it's just, you know, it's kind of not consistent. So when I capped it to 90, just take a look at this, watch the frame rate consistency. It gets much closer to what I would call console consistency, which is might be what you want. So it's just a suggestion. Oh, bugger. It gets much closer to... Did that get him or someone else? No, I got him. Heck. It gets much closer to console-like consistency, and you can see even the 0.1% has improved from that 90 FPS cap. And I did try higher caps first, but you kind of got to tune it in for yourself for your particular setup and see how you go with the FPS cap. Alrighty, so enjoy the gameplay, guys, and thanks for watching. Bye.
Inbound.
Round 1. Enemy team facing elimination.
And now, the finishing blow. An ally took their flag.
Enemy flag returned.
Active camo inbound. Active camo available.
Thirty seconds remaining. Enemy flag returned.
S7 sniper inbound.
Tie.
We've captured Charlie.
Your team scored.
The The enemy has captured Bravo.
Enemy team scoring.
Enemies on me.
Your team scoring.
The enemy has captured Charlie.
Enemy team scoring.
We've captured Bravo.
Your team scoring.
M41 Spanker inbound. The enemy has captured Bravo.
Enemy team scoring.
M41 Spanker available. Stronghold Charlie is ours. Great aim, Spartan. We've captured Bravo.
Your team scoring.
Targets are over there.
This zone belongs to us.
Off their shields.
Stronghold Alpha lost. Stronghold Bravo lost.
Enemy team scoring.
Frag out.
Your team scoring.
The enemy has captured Charlie.
Enemy team scoring.
Take it down.
Stronghold Bravo is ours.
Your team scoring.
M41 Spanker inbound. M41 Spanker available. This zone belongs to us. Stronghold Alpha lost.
Halfway to victory.
Another one down. Damage.
Stronghold Bravo lost. Stronghold Alpha lost. The enemy has captured Charlie.
Enemy team scoring. Spartan down.
We've captured Alpha.
Taking cover.
We've captured Charlie.
Your team scoring.
Another one down. Grab the drop wall. Reloading.
Stronghold Charlie lost. M41 Spanker inbound.
Tango's closing in.
M41 Spanker available. The enemy has captured Bravo.
Enemy team scoring.
Damage. Enemies on me.
Your team scoring.
Stronghold Charlie lost.
Enemy team scoring.
Frag out.
Stronghold Alpha lost. Stronghold Alpha is ours.
Your team scoring.
Spartans are closing in.
Nearing victory.
This zone belongs to us. M41 Spanker inbound. The enemy has captured Alpha. M41 Spanker available.
Victory.